the NBA where white men can't jump, I thought. Didn't we see that movie like 30, 40 years ago? When they going to do the sequel? Didn't they say they were going to do a sequel, or did I miss it? Oh, man, come on, Woody. Come on, man. Where Nino at? Come on, Wesley, let's get this going. But a G-Leaguer who is now a two-way player with the 76ers saved the dunk contest. Those are the headlines right now. He saved the dunk contest. A 6'2" white guy. I love it. I love it. You know I love it because I love to find some stereotypes. But let's get into it. Mac McClung. He had to be named Mac. Who's the Mac? He's the motherfucking Mac. Mac McClung, man. Wasn't even in the NBA like a week or two ago. Now, that dude won the dunk contest and did it damn near perfectly. Like 50, 50, 50. And then I don't know what the other score was. It wasn't 50. But the point is, he executed them all in the first try. Like he was just out there getting it. And the first thing I thought when I was looking at him, because I heard about him, like from high school with reputation, seen some videos, but didn't know how it's going to translate to a dunk contest because in the time that he has played, limited time, obviously G League, I think he was like G League Rookie of the Year with the Lakers for like 9 seconds. It felt like, bouncing around. I was like, I've seen guys with hops before, but then you look at him, you're like, that boy look like he got that Gucci Mane in him. He geeked up. Boy, he geeked up. And I'm like, you can just see some cats, they fast twitch muscles on the outside too. Like he just looked like he geeked up, right? And I'm like, all right, he about to jump out this gym. You see him do his dunks and you're amazed, but I swear you're more amazed when you see the replay and even more amazed when you see the slow-mo. This dude was doing the most subtle micro movements in the air seen in a long time. It's like, you know what that is if you play sports. And I don't care what level. If you play sports and get comfortable at that sport, you could be just the old school dude at the YMCA, but you got game with your headband and your socks pulled up and your chucks on, right? But you got game. You all of a sudden know how to slow the game down so much that you can manipulate it. Do little things, itty bitty things, right? And that's why I was watching. I was like, damn, Mac McClung, he out here feeling comfortable. Not only comfortable, but sophisticated with that comfort. Like, he is killing it. And you can see the reactions by everybody, and it was just crazy. Then, obviously, you find out, the dude has a 43.5-inch vert jump. I'm like, oh, jeez, I thought I could jump. And I could jump. Like, back in the days, I did 35 at the combine. That's above average, but ain't nothing I'm going to lead a podcast with. But then I went to my pro day, did 39. Let me tell you how you can cheat that real quick. Little sidebar. We used to do it where you hold your shoulders down. Like, right? That's full reach. Full reach. That's full reach, too. See out of that? But I really got that. See that? See that subtlety? It's like with the shoulder blades. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, Mike Boyle, you shouldn't have told me how to cheat. Anyway, I ended up getting 39.5, all up. 43.5? That's 7th best in NBA history. 7th. All the NBA dudes forever. All of them. Name them. Yep. Kobe. Yep. Jordan. Yep. T-Mac. Yep. Stacey Augman. Why? Because he was Spider-Man. That dude was long. Whoever had hops. Whoever. Spud Webb. Whatever. 7th in history? Told you that boy geeked up. So now, the reactions, the sociologist in me, I'm just staring. I'm like, this dude is special. And somewhere in my head, it clicked. I was like, man, we've been here before. I know Dan Marley was somewhere sipping on a nice stiff one, maybe blazing up a big boy. Just like, man, I've been showing y'all this. I've been told y'all about us. And that was the first thing I thought when I was looking at all the reactions. And I don't know if it's cynical or it's just the sociologist in me. I was like, how much of this is like, yo, he is killing it purely? And how much of this is like, that's a short dude, 6'2", NBA standards short. Because I'm 6'4". When I go to NBA games, I'm like, oh, hell no. What is that? Man, I'm tucked in. I'm scared of this story. What the hell? I got to get right. Okay, so I'm like, what the hell? I had to tuck my chain out. Shoot, I ain't scared of Debo. So I'm like, what is going on? But then I was like, is it because he's short, because he's white? Or it's just because they're amazed? I was like, like anything. A little bit from column A, a little bit from column B, a little bit from column C. Okay, let's get into it. This dude won a dunk contest in part because the stars ain't doing the dunk contest. Let's just be real about the risk-reward relationship of doing the dunk contest. Okay, let's talk about the reward. The reward is you win the Kia, I guess now. NBA Slam Dunk Championship. And that's major. I think that feels good to guys. Ask Vince Carter, ask all the greats. I'm sure that feels good. That's a nice trophy in the trophy case at the crib. And what else is a reward? You get paid $100,000 now, so I don't know what it was back then, but $100,000, especially for Mac McClung, he's only made $106,000 in his career, and he just made $100,000 in one night. So that's cool, doing 4 dunks, basically. So those are the rewards. Yeah. What else is a reward? I guess everybody just think you got hops. That always feels good to the ego. But what about the risk? Why nobody big time really jumping in there? Why LeBron and Stephen A even said, like, LeBron, you ruined the dunk contest. I'm sure because basically your ass didn't do it. And I wouldn't have done it either. I ain't gonna lie. I wouldn't have done it. Let's talk about those risks. One, straight up, first, foremost, the bar is too high. If you're an insane basketball player, we are not thinking in reality when we see you go out there in the dunk contest nowadays. Y'all gonna say, Jordan did it, Romanique did it, Dr. J did it. Yeah, but we didn't chatter about them 24/7 like we do now. And if we did, it was on islands because we didn't have social media. We didn't have the internet. We didn't gather all that information together, right? They didn't sneeze and we said, bless you on Twitter, right? That's what we do now. So there's a whole different level of ridicule. Like, dog, imagine being the man and then getting to the dunk contest. And for whatever reason, man, it's just an off night. You know, you clank a couple. You even get hung. You imagine LeBron getting hung? Man, we wouldn't let that dude live it down. Mean city. So I'm like, I get that part. It's not worth the brand damage. It's just not. Now, let's talk about what else is a risk. You can go out there and not only mess up kind of like the brand and what people imagine you can do, but you also could go out there and not do well. Like, forget like we clowning. We just being real. That wasn't fresh. And some guys are like that, right? You know, there's some, let's try to give you a comparison. Some receivers that are like Lynn Swan in there, you know, like a DeAndre Hopkins in there, right? You know what I mean? Like it's just magical, micro movements. You can see they can manipulate the atmosphere. And then there are some guys that's just like, yo, no, I just throw it up. I can catch it. You know what I mean? Like a little more stationary, a little more just I am to the point, right? And you look at those guys and you're like, damn, I thought he was fresher than that, right? You be like, I thought he had more skill than that. You're like, no, that's just who I am, a big, fast, strong guy, whatever it may be. You imagine in a skill challenge watching like Calvin Johnson versus Andre Johnson. I think most people say Calvin Johnson, right? You imagine seeing in the skills challenge like a Hines Ward who's a sick athlete, but you see him versus like a T.O. And you're like, oh, that's going to look different, right? That's what I'm talking about. And Hines Ward's a beast, right? And Andre Johnson's a beast, but it can look a little different. So I think in this respect, some of the guys tapped out because they know themselves. They know what style they are. I don't see LeBron manipulating the air a ton. I see LeBron making some power dunks, some insane, like athletic dunks, like with height. But I don't know if it's going to be all fancy like Mac McClung. So with that said, I see why they tap out. But I also see, at least I saw from this dunk contest, what I'm talking about in sociology, like the stereotypes. That was so intriguing. Let's get into the stereotypes, the good and bad. First, let's just, what a stereotype is. It's a large sentiment grouping of a group, right? Basically, y'all this, y'all that. White men can't jump. And I remember when that movie came out, I was like, damn, they let that fly. Like, white men can't jump. And it became a part of the lexicon. It became like, oh, you're just saying what's up. And I was like, you imagine if they had a movie called Black Men Can't Read, which was a stereotype, which was a joke, which was something that they were always running with, like comedians still to this day. You want to hide some information from a brother, put it in the book, right? But you imagine they actually had a book, a movie called Black Men Can't Read. Huh? So I wonder why. That's funked up, right? So I wondered always with that. But the good of stereotypes is through evolution, through history, we had to evolve. Hey, we ain't got time to figure out all y'all. We're going to group you together, right? And that helped us survive and protected us for many a years, right? You're going to see the bad side of doing that, right? Because you don't get into the individuals. You don't get into the nuance. You don't get into the micro. You just guard it because you're just judging the macro. So there's a balance in that with stereotypes. I'm not offended by stereotypes because I know every single stereotype I've ever heard about anybody, there's some evidence for it. Like they ain't just make it up out of thin air. Like one day, oh, you know what? White men can't jump. There was a few white dudes that couldn't jump. They were like, white men can't jump, right? And there was a few brothers who wasn't reading. They were like, black men can't read. But nobody ever said that because that just hits different. I don't know why, but it does. Glad I didn't make that movie. But here we go. It helped us survive. It helped us evolve. It helped protect us. It got us here. And we're never going to let them go. But damn, you're looking at this dunk contest and you're like, who got more bounce than him? Right? If they are making the sequel to White Man Can't Jump, are they really going to change it? They're going to change the title or they're going to let that ride? And the dunk champion is white. Talking about irony. That's hilarious right there. I felt this my entire life, especially after graduating college, right? The biases and then people. I see how when one of my white classmates who graduated from Columbia gets responded to and accepted. And it's just like, oh, that's impressive, but whatever. Then my big old black butt say the same thing. Yeah, I went to Columbia, class of 97. You went to Columbia? Like everybody, like they're taken aback, as they say. And I'm like, yeah. And I know why. It's not just because of the degree. It's not just because of the education. It's because your ass got it. White men can't jump and black men can't graduate from Columbia from Compton, right? That's my movie. Need to get that out there. So kudos to my man Mac McClung. What a name. Boy, that boy geeked up. He killed it. He killed it. Like, is he top 5? That's my question. That's my challenge, y'all. I'll be looking for the comments and the reviews and Twitter on that one. Is he top 5? Because top 5, Vince Carter by himself. Like, there's no Mount Rushmore. Jordan, Dominique, and all them tier 2. Because high schoolers could do those dunks now. And that's no slight to Jordan. That's no slight to Dominique of that time. But now, there's some dudes in 8th, 9th grade doing exactly those same dunks. Just be real. It is. Ain't nobody doing Vince Carter. Ain't nobody. All right, maybe Mac McClung, but ain't nobody doing what Vince Carter did. And not even as fresh as him. Nobody. So I got Vince by himself, Mount Rushmore, got to fill in 3 other slots. Jordan, Dominique, toss up, Aaron Gordon, Zach LaVine, Kenny Skywalker. Anybody? Anybody old enough to know that? Anybody remember? Do you remember? Sick. That sucker was sick. Maybe he caught me off guard. Or he just killed it. That's what Mac McClung's saying right now. Maybe I just caught y'all off guard. Or maybe I just killed it.